One other thing we wanted to touch on is something that we've seen in the comments quite a bit, talking about serial numbers, right? It's funny. I feel like when I describe the platform, I'm like, it's like sports cards and you're buying and selling and you're setting the price. And I always get through the explanation and then I realize that I haven't even talked about serial numbers and just the additional level that adds to what we're doing, what we're buying, what we're selling, all that. So the short notes beginner's guide is that obviously the lower serial numbers tend to go for more, tend to be valued at a higher price. The jersey number always seems to be one of the most expensive moments you can buy of each moment. And Top Shot has acknowledged that and put that in the actual list, the little sign that says jersey number. And then as you get higher, and we're really only obviously dealing with 12K out of 12K or 15K, as you get higher, the moments tend to get cheaper. But it's also like a wild west of different prices because it's up to the user. So some are super high, some are the lowest ask. But another little quirk seems to be that the top moment, the 15,000 out of 15,000, also tends to have a higher value. The fascinating part of all this is like that value was all just determined by the community. And it makes sense because like number one is a sexy number to have, right? Number two,
jersey number. Yeah. And even what you've talked about, like if it's the player's birthday, like people may not realize that. And that's a pretty unique thing to grab.
Stop saying that because I'm trying to buy them all up. I only have Will Barton's.
But like you think number one is going to be amazing if you're top 5, maybe the year they're born. I don't know. Like what other...
Their first year in the league.
What is it really going to be? If it's a 99 limited, like LE, I don't know how much the number matters. But if it's out of 15,000 and if you're lower, does that matter? I mean, I know it's kind of a dumb thing, but I inherently, even with like baseball cards and basketball cards, when it has a number on the back and I immediately look on the back to see, oh, what number did I get? And if it's like 80 out of 120, I'm like, eh. But if I'm like 13, I'm like, oh, I don't know why. I just think, oh, it's cooler because I'm near the front of the top of it. I don't know. It's a weird thing, and it'll be interesting to see if that actually completely transfers to this when the market starts to actually correct itself.
Yeah, and Greg, I think you're right too in what you said about how it's so interesting that the community kind of dictates it, and everybody's collecting style is different too. I know for me, I don't care as much as long as I'm like, oh, if it's in the top 100, that's amazing, right? Like that's how. And then if it's out of 15,000, anything under 1,000, I'm like, oh, this is really nice. But there's no like logic behind that except for that's just like what my brain's doing when I get there.
I'm the same way. I'm looking at cereals and I'm saying, how low can I go within reason, right? Like what's the lowest ask? Can I climb within $5, $25, go from like 11,000 to 1,000 or get into the 3-digit cereal. And it's that difference of a price. I'll take the gamble. If it means nothing down the line, to me, I'm not spending an arm and a leg on it. But if it does come into play and 3-digit cereals are way more coveted than something that's 10,000 plus, the $25 or whatever difference that I spent was worth the risk. If I lose it, I lose it. Like I didn't break the bank on it.
Right. I think it's hard to tell too, just because we haven't been like for us specifically, we haven't been selling things either.
Yeah.
So like I'm seeing big numbers be listed on the lower serials. And I mean, I guess we can go and find out because it's all on the blockchain. But I'm curious outside of like top 10 jersey number and the last one, like how wild those differences are,
Yeah. Like what is number 43 selling for at a 15K? Like, I don't know that we've really seen those sell. Like people are listing them at outrageous prices. I don't know that anyone's buy it. Maybe they did early on. I don't know. It's just so unknown. But we do know that number 69 will always sell.
Always. No, and that's the fascinating. There we go, Pat.
Shout out Pax.
Kelsey brings up a good point too, like how serial valuations will be when there's more common cards. Like it's obviously exciting to get something in the top 10. I mean, I've never pulled something in the top 10 or the top 1,000, honestly, in a pack. But imagine pulling that when it's out of 100K. Like that is like the golden ticket, like the Willy Wonka.
You would think it is, right?
No matter who the player is, you're just like. And I think I do want to back up. The valuation of like a lower serial number is not anything new. I don't think like that being higher. That's totally brought over from sports cards.
Yeah, I got my Zach LaVine 3 was like I think 13 or 18 serial, and I was like, oh, that was definitely the lowest I've ever gotten, and pulled in a pack. So that was really cool. It just felt awesome to be that low of a number. And I think that one's out of 15K. It's a series 2. So I'm hoping that helps out,
Yeah.
because that would be awesome. But you just have no idea. Like, I can't sell that right now. I don't think anyone's going to buy it. No one knows what that's really going to be, unless it's Zach LaVine.
Right.
But
I pulled a Tyrese Maxey like 40 or 48, something like that, out of 4,000. And which is great. Like, that's a top 100 out of a 4,000 man. It's a rookie, his first moment. All those things are really cool. There's no way to tell what that's actually worth versus what 3,000 is worth.
right.
You know, it's like hard to figure that out. I just know I'm not selling it anytime soon, so it's fine. I can figure it out later.
When do we think that's going to actually stabilize? Will it be when there's like 1,000 cereal in the packs? Like, I'm sorry, 100,000? Like, when do we think that we're going to actually start to see some sort of normalization for tiers in the cereal?
See, I don't even know. I don't know if it's that. Because my thinking is when it gets to 100,000, it's going to make the 15,000s, the 12s, and the 4,000s, like all of those, that much more valuable. But I still don't know if that's going to
go that level further.
Yeah,
right.
I still don't know. I mean, maybe, but
I think we kind of see it now a little bit, especially, and this was a week ago when things were $3, $2, $3. But anything out of the, like, I would say above 3,000 on a like a Dennis Schroeder or Dwayne Bacon, no disrespect, Mike, you'd see like a ton just be for $3, like the minimum. So I do think we'll see that, especially when we get up to 100K. Also, imagine scrolling through that list of serial numbers for 100K when the time comes.
Even to buy, or like to buy too, like just
to buy,
like,
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I mean, and it looks like they're moving a little bit away from that by listing it by lowest price, and you're able to sort that list however you want. I wonder if they'll have like a serial number search term sometime soon.
Yeah.
But I personally love thinking about ways that specific serial numbers are going to be more valuable and why. Mike, with the awesome hot take, maybe the jersey number of the player combined with the one of the dude he's posterizing might have a little value for some. I totally think so. That's an awesome thing. And it's
deep cut.
It's truly all like, who knows if we'll ever be able to add messages to these moments when we list them, but that's like something you could add to, like, contextualize. And
I don't want them to allow that. I think it's going to go nuts and make it impossible to search for things that I want.
I want them to, because I got Will Barton's birthday. How are people going to know that I got 1/6/91?
Maybe if it's not next to the thing, but when you click on it, then you can see in the comments someone has added to it. But I don't want it to be like on the side of it. It's going to get crazy with messages.
I'm just glad we're friends, Greg, because I wouldn't ever know to look that up. Like,
it's a long game. It's a long game.
It's a very long game.
It's for Will Barton and Will Barton only.
It's smart. There's no wrong strategy here. It's smart.
It is.